Good morning, everybody. A little bit late to the game today, and that is primarily because I take my time on Sundays. And so today I wanted to take my time and get into this after I had some cuddle time with my kids, played a little bit, had some oatmeal, and talked to my wife about our day today. We're not doing much. We had a long day yesterday. Long, fun day. Went to some botanical gardens and had some fun there. Today, behind me, noticed I have this big, huge list of games, all of these Nintendo titles, physical Nintendo titles that I have, and I wanted to share with you my Nintendo collection, my Nintendo titles. So we're going to go through all of these from start to last. I'm going to give you my little overview about the game, how I liked it, if I even finished it, and have fun doing that. Sound good, ladies and gentlemen? I think so. Now, I do have additional digital titles, but let's get the Switch. So here I have the Switch, and we'll just keep this guy right here for now, and he will just chill. My Nintendo collection started when I got my first game. I'm not going to go in chronological order, I'm going alphabetical, but for this one I will be. The very first game I got was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game was special, to say the least. I really liked this game a lot. I still like this game. I would consider it my favorite open world Zelda game. Totke works, Tears of the Kingdom works, but this game is just, it was insane. The amount of time I spent here, I was still single at the time. Well, actually, I wasn't single, I was married, I suppose. I meant more no kids. And so this game got a lot of attention, and it was able to get a lot of attention. Both my wife and I worked normal jobs. Sometimes she'd be at work, sometimes I'd be at work. We did not have synchronized schedules, and so there'd be times where I'm home alone, and this would be played. And there was times when I wasn't home alone, but still this would be played. It was such a huge revamping or revitalization of my excitement for Nintendo, and to this day, I still have some of the fondest Nintendo memories with this game. And so let's put it back in here and let us get into my collection. And I'm going to just grab like 5 at a time. It's tough to do with all this stuff on my desk. Actually, let's move these. NFC cards, absolutely recommend. But let's go this block. Oh, that was a knife. We'll start with this block once I get my coffee going. Let's warm up my cup here. By the way, these Fellow products, all of my coffee gear that I've been using, they're on sale right now with Fellow. I get no discounts, but this beautiful, awesome kettle, which is real walnut and dark black or jet black, it's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's on sale, 20% off. If you're looking to get some expensive coffee gear. You don't have to get that expensive of coffee gear. You can get much more affordable coffee gear. But I highly recommend getting yourself some good coffee products because it helps with brewing yourself a delicious cup. I know that my cups have benefited greatly. Not from the tea kettle. The tea kettle is more for the aesthetics, if I'm being honest with you. My other tea kettle was fine, totally fine. The functionality of the two are pretty much the same. This one does warm up faster, and it has a timer, so I can actually set this to boil my water a certain time of day, which I will be doing once I stop doing these daily videos, because I will be making myself my coffees in the morning right when I wake up versus what I've been doing, which is waiting till later to make them. So let's hop into the first game here. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. This is awesome. Have not beaten it, this Switch title, but I have beaten both of these titles because this is the first and the second Advance Wars that was released on the Game Boy Advance. This is one of the coolest remakes, I think. One that I would have not expected them to do. I adored this growing up. I was always in my Nintendo Switch, And to date, I go into it, play a map or two, because you can play something in the game called the War Room, which is essentially picking up a map and just doing an NPC battle. Any map you want. It's awesome. You can play your friends and stuff, and there's online play. I love strat games, and this is just a traditional strat game, or strategy game. I love this game. Next is Hades. This was a fun game. I haven't beaten it, but it was my first ever roguelite, but I got it because the physical edition came with a booklet and some stuff in there, and I thought it was really, really cool, and this was my first actual entrance into buying a physical title with collector purposes. I thought it was a really, really cool thing that they did to add the additional booklet. I went through it. I reviewed it on my channel. It's an older video. It's one of my first, I think, dozen or 24 videos. I review this. You can go back and check it out if you want. But this game, I really liked. I played a lot of it when I was on vacation in San Diego when it first came out, and I got super into it. But roguelites, or repeating the same thing over and over again like that game has you do, just trying to make it through this, wasn't really for me. Like, I didn't find myself always coming back to it going like, I need to play this. And so it ended up getting shelved, and I haven't beaten it yet. I may come back to it, but it's a really, really fun game. I do like it. Final Fantasy X and X-2. Haven't beaten it on the Nintendo Switch. I've beaten it multiple times on PlayStation. I had to have this mobile. This game is one of the most important games in my gaming life. 10, 10-2, who cares? 10-2 sucks. Shots fired. Final Fantasy X was a game I played with my buddy Robert. We grew up together playing this game on PlayStation 2. I would bring my PlayStation 2 to vacation in the mountains in Mammoth, and I would play this game with him. I was in love with these characters. I was also in love with Yuna and Riku, and at the time where hormones are flying all over the place, this game came out at a time where I was very, very angsty, and the angst that existed in Final Fantasy X was great. Now, the story that exists here, too, was one that I was never going to expect to happen. It's such a powerful story, and for a Final Fantasy game, it was pretty challenging, too. I found myself being like, I can't believe that this is something I'm playing. So that was 10 and 10-2. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I got this because it was a Fire Emblem title, and I loved the original Fire Emblem and the couple that came out for the Advanced, Game Boy Advance, and the 3DS. My brew bed actually looks pretty even today. I really wanted to like Three Houses, but when it started to get into the school aspect of things and having these little, relationships with people and different stuff like that, though conversational relationships is something that always took place in the Advance Wars games, I found myself growing tired of the actual gameplay of this because the school aspect of things I didn't like. So I never finished it. I actually only got about a dozen hours into it. And I thought, this just isn't the style of Fire Emblem I was looking for, so that ended up getting shelved as well. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, a game that I 100% streamed, didn't 100% it, but I 100% streamed and enjoyed every minute of this game. This game is cute. Haven't come back to it since I beat it, but it is probably the cutest Kirby game I have ever played. Kirby as a whole is just cute in general, but this game was so much fun and such a good change to Kirby, and I did enjoy it. It was a platformer, 3D style platformer, and this is a game I actually am thinking about right now. I should play this with my daughter. I think she would have fun being a Waddle Dee while I am Kirby. And then Kirby Return to Dreamland is a 2D side scroller. This is a more traditional style of Kirby, and this one I did like this over Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. This one I did enjoy because of that 2D aspect of things. And I would say it's a great title if you're into Kirby games. Mechanics are fun. There's some upgradability. It's just cool, the super abilities or whatever they're called. And there are a great deal of levels. Now, Kirby is not a difficult game at all, but there are difficult aspects of it that they've sprinkled in, like time trials. So if you're into a challenge, they certainly exist in the game, but don't expect to have the most challenging game because, again, it's a Kirby game. So let's grab another block. Games here. We'll just do it like this. Cool. So, Luigi's Mansion 3. Surprisingly, this isn't mine. This is actually my buddy AJ's. Oh, too hot. delicious but too hot. I've never played it. I've watched it. I think it's beautiful. I've recommended it. I think it's great. Never played it. So, I need to play it. Breath of the Wild, we've seen. Link's Awakening. I was having this conversation with my buddy Tyson, and we were talking about Link's Awakening being one of our favorite games. And Link's Awakening, for me, is one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. It is not one of my favorite Zelda games, though, right? Let me rephrase that. My favorite Zelda game is Ocarina of Time. This is one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, if that makes sense. Ocarina of Time isn't one of my top 5 games. This is. Ocarina of Time is like probably 7th or 8th. This is so many things with Link's Awakening. It was the first Zelda game I ever played on the Game Boy. I owned Link's Awakening, then I ended up owning Link's Awakening DX. I've beaten it multiple times on the Game Boy. I owned the emulated version on the 3DS and the DS and all that stuff. And now owning it on the Switch, I played it on the Switch. I 100% it on the Switch. It's great. It is so beautiful, and I think for a Zelda story, it is one that is unbelievably surprising. If you're not too sure what I mean by that, if you haven't played it, I'm not going to spoil it. It is not what you expect, and I highly recommend picking it up. All these games probably on sale, but we'll see. Skyward Sword, a game I want to like, and I didn't when I initially played it, because I started with motion controls. I'm choking on a piece of oatmeal. I started with motion controls and then switched to the thumbstick controls and button only, and that was a mistake. So I want to go back and play this. I've watched gameplay of it. I've watched a lot more than I've played it, and I intend on going back and playing it. So haven't finished it yet. And I like the visuals of it, and I need to go back and play it. So that's where that is. This is Take, Tears of the Kingdom. I think enough has been said about it. It's a good game. I haven't finished it. I need to get back to finishing it. Just isn't really in the cards as far as what I'm like really wanting to play, and that's primarily because this game just feels like I'm getting more Breath of the Wild. I spent so much time in Breath of the Wild, and the investment there, I feel like I'm starting over. And so even though I've started over Breath of the Wild multiple times, I don't even think I have a completed save file on Breath of the Wild right now, which is whatever. Tears of the Kingdom. Harry Potter and the remastered Nintendo Switch collection with every single game. This is my wife's. I've played it, but that's my wife's. I got it for her because she loves Harry Potter. And then I'm like, Lego games are really, really approachable. And so when we're playing games on the couch, she'll have her Switch with Harry Potter, and then I have that, which is great. I'm going to get her the Star Wars one because the Star Wars one is awesome too. But right now, we're sticking with Harry Potter. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. This, I got and played like the first hour of the first one. This game, the first one, I haven't played every single one. I played a few of them. I would play inline on my Game Boy SP at Disney's California Adventure with my buddy Miles while he played inline Game Boy Advance. He was playing probably Pokemon. That's how we would stand in line at Disneyland. And this Mega Man, along with Advanced Wars and Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which I do have a actual title, that the Tactics Advance. I think I got this from Morgan when he gave me my SP. Those together were the 3 games that I always had on me, and then there were other ones that I would have on me too, but those 3 through and through were huge. And so when they said they were coming out with this, I was like, dude, Advance Wars and Mega Man Battle Network, this is insane. And I know that it's available on multiple consoles, but it had to be on Nintendo for me. It had to be. And that's primarily because that's exactly where I played it for the first time. And so Mega Man Battle Network, incredible title. Incredible. And then Metroid Prime Remaster. It's a cool remaster. I was playing it. I'm like, this is fun. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm more impressed with it than I am interested in playing it, if that makes sense. I'm impressed with what they did, but I'm not interested in completing the game. And so Metroid Prime Remaster, though it is a really, really good title, doesn't see a lot of action from me in it. Probably won't. I may complete it. And, well, realistically, I want to complete every title I own. I think that's something I want to do. And when the next Nintendo title comes out, or a Nintendo console comes out, I intend on playing every game I purchase to completion. Again, I am heavily inspired by woodhawker of beat 'em ups, and I strive to be able to do stuff at the level he does. And so I notice he plays a lot of games, and I want to complete games in my off time. I know where I can find time, and a lot of you can find time too. All of my time that I spend on social media, scrolling and sending 500 reels to my friends, I am going to replace with playing video games or reading manga. It's as simple as that. No more Instagram death scrolls, any of that stuff. All video games or manga. That's how I'm replacing all of my wasted time. Go and lay on my bed. Instead of getting locked in a death scroll, either whip out a manga or pull out my Nintendo Switch. I think I find myself a few hours, actually, if I do that. And so I'm going to find more video game time. Fun fact, fun little thing for you. Pokemon Violet. Not good. That's all I got. Mario Golf. I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. I played a good amount of it, and I beat Drip Media Gaming. He said he was the best. He's not. Daddy's the best. Did it come out incomplete? Some people say. But for me, I enjoyed it. Enjoyed it so much that my dad bought it, and we played it together. And it was a lot of fun, because we played motion controls. That really is what changed it. But yeah, Mario Party Superstars, this was way better than the other Mario Party game. This is a amalgamation of all of the other Mario Party stuff without motion controls, and that, my friends, is a win. I think it's a fun, if you're into Mario Party, this is the one to do, aside from the expansion ones, but that's the Mario Party to play. I feel that through and through. New Pokemon Snap is fun. I started playing it and I was like, this is gonna be great. It wasn't. It wasn't great. Not because the game's bad, but because I actually didn't like it like I liked the first one. I thought that, this is gonna be the similar experience. It's not the similar experience that I had with the first one. The first one was at a time in my life when I was very young and I could go to Blockbuster and print out my Pokemon and make them into stickers and put them on my rollerblading helmet. Can't do that with this. Well, I can. I ended up spending $100 on an Instax printer to print out my Instax Pokemon and then do, gosh, I have the hiccups, and then do what? Precisely. Nothing. And so it was one of those purchases I was like, this is going to be great. And it wasn't. So whatever. Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, a remake from the Super Mario Bros. U game with added Luigi's Deluxe U. So that's the DLC that you got when you played it originally. That game was a sleeper for me. I didn't think I'd like it because the new mechanics and the spinning and Mario felt a little different. I played it and ended up loving it. So much so that I was having the same experience with this that I did have with Super Mario Bros. World. Super Mario World. Yes, Super Mario World. And I thought to myself, this is a modern day Super Mario World, and I loved it. And I can't recommend it enough. If you're looking for a good 2D side scroller, that is one of them that I would recommend. Obviously, we know what the other one would be, and we'll get there in just a moment as I pick up more of my titles. All right, what do we have here? Let's see here. I picked up Super Mario Deluxe again. We have Octopath Traveler 2. Still in cellophane. Haven't played it yet. Octopath Traveler 1, I really, really liked. I enjoyed it, didn't complete, so I figured I'd get Octopath Traveler 2. Still in cellophane, so that's as simple as that. Brilliant Diamond. I actually preferred Brilliant Diamond to Violet and Scarlet, and so I liked it. I did like the animation of it. It was fine. And I liked the fact that it was linear. I liked linear games. Didn't finish it, but I liked it. I liked it more than the other one. Pokemon Legends Arceus, I played a ton of when it first came out to try to get into it. I was also at a time where I was in a very, very big creator dilemma. And so since all of my friends were playing this, I thought I would play it. And I was streaming on Twitch and YouTube and this, back, that, and sideways. Which, by the way, I am going to be streaming on Twitch. That is where I'm streaming. The locked-in days are Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific. As simple as that. My link is in the description. I will probably stream other days too, but that's where I'm going to be streaming. And the reason why Twitch is because I don't have to think about it, and I don't have to try to make it into a, I'm going to be a streamer. No. It's just to hang out with you guys while I play video games. It's in cellophane. I rebought it because Let's Go Pikachu. I liked this game so much so that when I bought it, I purchased it with the Pokeball Plus, which you can play the whole game with this Pokeball. I would take my Pokemon with me. I would carry it around, get extra steps. I would play Pokemon Go. It was a whole thing for like a month. And then I stopped because I realized I don't care about Pokemon that way. And so that's that. And especially not Pokemon Go. I don't go out and do it. So it ended up not getting played much. I don't mind it though. Some people don't like it. I do. Pokemon Sword. I like Pokemon Sword a lot more now than I did originally. Now that Pokemon Violet came out. I didn't get into this title because when they started deviating from the more linear style of gameplay that I was enjoying, I kind of fell out of it. The last games I played was Pokemon Y and Sun, which I have on my 3DS titles. I just didn't find myself really loving those games particularly and realized that Pokemon as a franchise was one that I had fallen out of love with, and so it wasn't one I was playing as much. I realized, okay, maybe I'm just not a huge Pokemon fan like I thought, and turns out I wasn't. So yeah, that one never got finished, nor did it get a lot of attention. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. This was really fun. I preferred Bowser's Fury over Super Mario 3D World, but I really liked this game. I struggled at times with the 3D aspect of it, the way that the perspective changed, because it was a little bit tough to navigate. And some of the mechanics I didn't love as much as the 2D stuff. It was weird. I was like, this is literally a 3D platformer, but also just 3D in itself. And it wasn't my favorite. It still isn't my favorite platformer Mario style. But I do think that it's really good and well worth it. Super Mario RPG, a game that I haven't completed yet, but I am currently playing this on stream. I'm not playing it 100% on stream. I am playing off stream too. I still have 3 out of the 7 stars as of today and all party members. So that's where I'm at. It's fun. It's real fun. It's real charming, real great. A good remake. Music's awesome. It's great. One of, if not the worst box arts I've ever seen in my life. Nintendo, you could have just put the old one on there, dudes. Come on. It's just embarrassing, but whatever. Super Mario Wonder is the most charming 2D side scroller I've ever played in my life. Through and through. Through and through. Best Mario game 2D wise since Super Mario World. 100% recommend. 100%. I haven't finished it, but I'm very close. So good. Super Mario Odyssey. Best game since Mario 64. I know. Some people are going to be like, well, what about Mario Sunshine? I never finished it. I liked it. Well, what about Mario Galaxy? Never played it. So, and I do have the 3D collection, but still, Super Mario Odyssey. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love how much there is to do, and when I jump into it to get some B-roll footage when I was doing this for a previous video, I was like, oh, dude, I love this game. I love this game. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I don't love Smash Brothers. I said it. I have Super Smash Brothers Ultimate because if you have a Nintendo product, if you have a Nintendo gaming system, you need Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. It's part of it. You have to have those 2 games. So that's why I have it. I don't play it often. Really don't. When I do play it, I have fun. I do. I'm not good. I'm good enough to cause issues, keep people's hands busy, but I'm not winning even 50% of the time. Shredder's Revenge. I purchased Shredder's Revenge for one purpose. I had it for free on my Series S. Fight stick. This game is great. With a arcade stick, it's a completely different game. It is, you might as well be at a Pizza Hut playing on an arcade box. Like, it is so good, and it made me want to play more beat-em-ups games, so much so that I purchased a book by Bitmap Books called Go Straight. This is not every, but a lot of beat-em-up style games. And I intend on playing beat-em-up style games, at least whichever ones I can get my hands on, because it's tough to get hands on games. because of this. I have fallen in love with beat 'em up style games because of Shredder's Revenge. And then there's also the Cowabunga collection, which I don't have, but that is what it is. Triangle Strategy I got because I am in love with strat RPGs. Played a little bit of it and then quickly got distracted by other stuff that was out. And so it never got beaten. And honestly, if I'm being honest, it didn't get a bunch of screen time from me because my hands were busy with other games. And so that really sums up my my collection, my physical collection, but that's not where we stop. We're going to go into my digital collection here in a second and finish out all of the games that I own. Because how many was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 32. It's like 32, 33-ish games. So let's go over to my digital purchases. So good. Re-download. And let's see. We have 34 items. So not much. I have Celeste. Celeste is a cool game. It is a 2D platformer, and it is very challenging, and it gives you a death counter. How many times you die, which is unfortunate because it is like a reminder that you're not that good at video games. I don't like that feeling. We have Cuphead, one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life. I do enjoy it, but we still have Cuphead. Fire Emblem. This is Three Houses, sorry. We have Minecraft, who cares? Octopath Traveler 1, which I said I didn't have. It's a fun game in its own right. And I didn't finish it. And so it's embarrassing to say that, but I didn't finish it. I did like it a lot, but not as much as everyone else did. That's probably why I didn't finish it. We have Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, 2 games that I don't care about. I want to like them. I want them to be good. I don't, and they're not. I mean, I'm sure they are good, but me personally, I'm realizing that I wasn't paying attention when I was talking about Octopath Traveler. I liked Octopath Traveler a lot. What am I saying? I wasn't really paying attention. Octopath Traveler, it's tough for me to do like 3 things at once. I do like it a lot. I recommend it. Sorry, I was not really paying attention. Star Wars Republic Commando, super fun. I wish it was multiplayer. It is basically Halo, but Star Wars style. Larry, cool it, dude. Give me my space. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 and Star Wars Jedi Knight 1. I bought them because of Star Wars. I haven't played them. But I figured I need to have them because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Star Wars tattoos, Huge Star Wars fan. I have the Jackbox Party Pack. I feel like you just have to have a Jackbox game on your system because when you have friends over, it's fun to play that. But, I mean, you don't. Now, there are a few weird games in here, too. There is The Longing. I don't know if you're familiar with The Longing. The Longing is a game which is super weird. It is a game where you basically have like 400 days, real-time days based on your Switch to survive. And if you do the game, then something happens. I haven't survived. And so it was just something I thought was really cool on a Indie Presents, which is crazy. And there's a few more that I'll finish out here. We have Fire Emblem Engage, which I didn't get a physical copy of that. That's depressing. I should have. I think it was because it was tough to get and I really wanted to play it. Best Fire Emblem game that I think on the Nintendo Switch. I mean standalone game, that is. It is so good. It is so good. It is exactly back to the originals. And that is what I loved. It is very, very much so. Run your characters. You can play classic mode, which means if they die, they're done. I love Fire Emblem Engage. Haven't finished it, but I love it. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I owned it. I sold it. I purchased it again because I have to have it. It is the most fun Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong Country was one of my favorite games on Super Nintendo. This I like more. It's everything about Donkey Kong Country except better, modernized, beautiful, gorgeous, and a ton of fun and challenging at times, which I really love. And I'm looking through, I have Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, because Final Fantasies need to exist everywhere, I suppose. Really, I have every single Final Fantasy game available to me through PlayStation on PlayStation. That's where I purchased the massive amount, the huge, huge backlog. Super Mario 3D, All-Stars, which is all of the 3D games. Awesome. Not all of them, but as Sunshine, Galaxy, and Super Mario 64. Super rad. I love that. I purchased it and sat back and played Super Mario 64 in my CrossFit gym while I was in between classes, and I was like borderline emotional because that game was the launch pad for all of this, essentially. It was where my deep love for Nintendo was born, and so many cool memories. Super Mario Maker 2. I love 2D style Mario games, and so I got it. And I love it if I want to jump in. Now, the problem with Super Mario Maker 2 is Mario's courses are great because of the level designers that make them. That's not the case with Mario Maker 2. There are a couple of courses that you can find in there that are really, really good. I don't make courses. I play them. And so some of them are really ungood. Tremendous amount of them are ungood. Broforce. It is so wacky. I know I'm not shooting any B-roll for this, so you're just taking my word for it. If you don't know what Broforce is, check it out. It's a side scroller. You can play with friends. You are bro versions of super crazy, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Brominator and stuff like that. Broade, which is blade, but bro. Stuff like I don't know exactly the name, but the word bro is involved in some of these characters. It's all action stars and a blast. Cadence of Hyrule was a time-based or rhythm-based game that I played. I started playing at like 10 p.m. when I was going to bed. This was before I was married. I was on vacation with my in-laws. So my wife and I were in separate rooms. I was by myself. I played this game until like 3 in the morning. I don't know what it was. I got obsessed with it. It's a lot of fun. Crystal Chronicles I have on here because I wanted a gaming. I still haven't played it on here. I purchased it because I want to have this gaming experience that I had when I was a kid, but I know it's not going to happen. I went over to my buddy Adam's house and we played all night with 4 of our friends with our Game Boy Advances plugged into his GameCube. I want to play this game with 3 other people. So I want to make it happen. I want to do it 100% streamed on Twitch. I'm just going to leave it at that. I have the sports game. What is it called? Nintendo Switch Sports. That was a great week of gaming. Animal Crossing, of course, because everybody has Animal Crossing. Stardew Valley, I like it more than Animal Crossing. Shots fired. Star Wars Pod Racer, or Star Wars Racer. That game I played to death on my N64, and so I have it here. Haven't played it to death, but I've played it plenty amount. Sonic Mania, because everyone's like, you gotta play Sonic Mania. And for a Sonic game, it's my favorite one that I've played, but I don't like Sonic games. I don't understand him. I don't know where to go. He's going so fast. It's just not for me. I watched the show growing up, but didn't play the games. And so, yeah. Towerfall is a game that was suggested to me by AJ. In Towerfall, you'll lose friends. It's worse than Settlers of Catan. Fortnite's on here, which is the first place I played Fortnite and arguably the best place I played Fortnite. Granted, I do now play on my PlayStation 5 at 120 frames per second, but I was playing on my Nintendo Switch at 30 frames per second. And that is where I fell in love with that game. And maybe I'll play a couple rounds on my Nintendo Switch just for nostalgic purposes after this is done. I'm going to do that. I'm absolutely going to do that. Eastward is available everywhere, but that game it's not a fun game to stream, I realized, because it's all reading. It's Earthbound, but a newer version and a really good story. I can't get into too much detail, but if you like Stranger Things, it's kind of like Stranger Things meets Earthbound, which Earthbound was kind of Stranger Things. Gravity Circuit was recommended to me by Chase, he got the recommendation from Bob Wolf and Wolf Den. It's awesome. It's Mega Man with punching. It's super fun. Pokemon Unite's on here because I play Pokemon Unite. I need to log in and stop my subscription because I have been paying for it. And Dragon Quest 1 I purchased and beat it in one sitting. 4 hours. 100%ed it. Sea of Stars demo. Don't own it. And then I have Mario and Rabbids, both of them, because they were on sale for like $9. Never played them. I probably should. I heard I'd like them a lot. As I said, the Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10 digitally, even though I have 10 physically, which I know I did because I need to own that game physically. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is a game I play even by myself. I love Mario Kart. It is so much fun to play. That is my Nintendo Switch collection from start to finish. Some games in here I skipped, like War Groove, because it was like I tried it, whatever. But these are the games, all the games I mentioned with the exception of a couple, I've played, very few I've finished. And that is my Nintendo Switch collection. Now you know if that grants light into the things I buy, whether they were because I was pressured to buy them based on trying to fit in, or I actually bought them because I was interested. That is everything I own here. And it is a sobering reality that even if I only spent $30 on all of them, I've spent well over $1,000 in games on this system. And that is crazy to think about. Which I know that a lot of these games are full price games. And so that's even more insane. Let me know some of the ones on here that you liked, that you have, that you've played, or some that I haven't finished that you're like, dude, shut up and play this game. It's so good. If there's a game that's not on here, because I have a lot, but still, if you're like, dude, you missed this one. This is such a good one. You should try it out. Also, let me know whether it's in the comments below or in Discord if you're part of that, or you join me on live stream on Twitch, 7 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays for right now. We'll have fun. All right, it's time to edit this bad boy. It's a long one, but most of all, happy games. Oh,